We're all inspired by our human connection that arises when we share food with others. So what's on your heart becomes a hub for truly heartfelt conversation.
Tertulia, as they say in Spanish, fostering genuine bonds between individuals, creating that sense of community and connection.
I'm Paul Jacobs, your podcast co-host, ready to inspire you by conversations that nourish the soul as we go beyond the plate.
I'm Daniel Patiño, welcoming you to join us for some truly inspiring Tertulia. Get ready to satisfy that craving for connection and inspiration as we dive into topics that not only broaden your perspective, but also deepen your understanding of lives of families in Latin America, the Caribbean, or even in your own backyard. So wherever our conversations take us, come along for the ride and let's go beyond the plate together.
All right, welcome to our live edition, our live album Beyond the Plate. I'm Paul, your co-host.
I'm Daniel Patiño, as you know, co-host.
We're giving first and last name? I thought it was
just... Hispanic Heritage. We're here Hispanic Heritage Month, so I have to say Daniel Patiño instead of Daniel, right?
And everybody knows because I was named by one of our co-guests, Pablo Jacobo.
Con adobo.
That's my name this month. I don't know when I'm going to change it to come Black History Month.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But this is so exciting to be on our live album in here, our packing event, Hispanic Heritage Month packing event at our Food for the Poor headquarters. We're so grateful that you joined us here today. And we've got some very special guests that are a big part of our packing. Danny, you want to tell them who we're with?
Very special guests. We're going to start off with Myrka Dellanos. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. This is amazing. I love being here. There's so much people are just packing, working away like little ants. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And as well.
And of course, Samuel Castro. By the way, the Edward R. Murrow Award winner.
Samuel Castro.
Who has an Edward R. Murrow here besides our guest, Samuel Castro?
Well, I guess I have something. I'm super happy to be with you guys here and see all these wonderful people doing this incredible job for our people in need in Latin America. So super happy in this Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes, exactly. You know, we're excited to have them here because, first of all, you all are a big part of the partnership that got this kicked off. Vida Unida, Food for the Poor. For those of you that don't know Vida Unida, the local Christian radio station here, 90.9. Vida Unida, Christian music. Myrka in the mornings. Myrka en la mañana.
Eso. En la mañana. And, you know, we're not only in this area, we're across the country because we have our app, which is Vida Unida. And I always tell people that don't speak Spanish very well, this is a good way to learn Spanish. To listen to us in the mornings, because that way you start acclimating your ear to the amazing music that we have. And of course, all the messages and everything. So I'm happy to be part of Vida Unida and now Food for the Poor.
So everybody, our audience knows that I am Guatemalan by marriage. And I've been practicing my Spanish con Duolingo y mi esposa. Pero
te va bien, te va bien.
Gracias. Sin acento, ¿no?
Muy bien el acento. O sea,
pero I started in high school. 4 years of high school Spanish. In my senior year of high school, I was fluent. I'm not kidding you. We talked about this. That I was in a play. Señor Robles, el gerente del banco.
Sí, hasta con las R's.
Sí.
Authentic.
But I learned, like you said, watching the news, because everything was contextual. And I watched ¿Qué pasa USA?
Oh my gosh, one of my favorite shows.
Right?
Sí se aprende. That's how we all learn English and Spanish together. That's how we do it.
Yeah, but we're talking about being here during Hispanic Heritage Month. Our 3 pillars have been resilience, innovation, and unity. And Danny wanted to talk a little bit about that as we kick off our episode here.
And unity, I want to jump on unity. Unity, as you can see, and you can see right behind us, it's the coming together. It's the partnerships, just like Food for the Poor and Vida Unida, that really get that extra push to get the help in those families that right now we're serving in Latin America and the Caribbean. So in that topic, I'm going to ask you, Myrka, what does this mean? What does this event mean to you that we're coming together to help our families?
Well, I was just speaking to some friends about unity this morning, and we're talking about, typically in every city, in every country, the group that most helps the community are the churches, are the one-on-one people that decide that because they love God, they also want to do something for another person. And sometimes they don't have the right venue, or they're looking for the place where they can unite and do something positive. And Food for the Poor is that group that we can unite to and then do something that's amazing for the people, not only the people in the US, but in Latin America and our other countries. So this is a beautiful event. I'm very happy to be a part of it. I'm so happy that Vida Unida has partnered with Food for the Poor.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be amazing. And, unity is really our strength. So.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we're talking about today is we're packing these cool backpacks, really exciting, with school supplies that are going to our Angel of Hope homes. Take a look at all of the school supplies that are going to countries like Honduras, El Salvador, and Peru. We're excited. These school supplies are going to be going to these children that are very much needed, because one of the things that is been a principle for us at Food for the Poor is that education is the way out of poverty. You can give the material things, but if they don't have the education, and that's why this event has been so primary to the goals of Food for the Poor, to make sure that these children get the education that they need, but it starts with these school supplies.
Yeah.
When we're talking to both of you here, what is it that is so, I really want to hear from both of you. Why is it so important that you're here and Vida Unida is here? Because, Food for the Poor could do this, but why partner with us at this season of it and time to do something as impactful as this?
I think that when we speak to people on the show, when we open up the radio lines that people just call in and speak to us, there's a lot of need. And so you can go about your day just doing your work, taking care of your own family, and live a little bit isolated from the pain of other people, right? Of what's actually going on. When you open up your eyes, when you have a radio station, for example, that is telling you, this is what's happening and this is how you can help. So there's a lot of people that want to help, but they don't have the exact avenue where they feel like, well, maybe if I do this, it's going to go directly to that kid in that city and that little place that maybe nobody knows about. And that's what this partnership does. It puts 2 and 2 together so that a mom at home that says, I can't go to Honduras, or I can't go to this other city, or I can't go to that place. I don't even have money to hop on a plane. But guess what? I have a couple dollars that I can actually give to help another child in need, and then tell their kids. So that becomes something that is a family is together in, and kids are learning that it's so important to not live isolated, and that there's other people that always have it worse than you. And I think it's also aspirational to say, okay, we're going to school, we're able to have this education, and you know what? Somebody that doesn't have access to it, we're the ones that are opening those doors. How amazing is that?
Yes, absolutely. And Sadiel, you're no stranger to being a part of the community. I mean, just months ago, Hurricane Beryl devastated the Houston community where you live. And now you had the opportunity to go back in the community, taking advantage of your platform on the radio and being a part of that community. What was that like for you?
Yeah, for me, it was a wonderful opportunity. We helped so many people in the area of Houston that was, affected by the hurricane. And we go and cut trees and take out all the garbage and make the house clean for those people in need. And it was a wonderful opportunity for me. And one other thing is, we live in the United States. This place is the country for opportunities. A lot of people move here to have a better life. And when they listen on radio that we are trying to help other countries, other people that are in need, they remember, I remember when I don't have shoes to go to school, when I don't have a notebook, and I used to sit on the floor in my classroom. And having the opportunity to help and using the radio as a bridge to connect others, I believe that's the best way that we can help others. Just be there and give the information and give the opportunity to serve others.
Exactly.
Wonderful. It's wonderful. And first of all, I want to thank you once again for being here. Once again, if you can see, most of the tables are already emptying out, but earlier today, it was a total party. And again, we're helping out families in Latin America and the Caribbean, unfortunately, right now, that see school supplies as a luxury for their children. and we're making a big difference today. So
By the way, I want to say a special thank you to one of our sponsors, Nando's Shirts and Signs. They were a big part of our sponsorship here
Yes.
today. I want to give a big shout out to them. They came through for parting gifts for all those who came. But, you know, it wasn't about the shirts. It wasn't about their sponsorship. It was the fact that they were here,
Yeah.
that they were present. And that was a gift enough for all of us.
it's a present, like you said, a present. The present is a gift. It's present.
Exactly.
Hispanic Group! Hispanic Group is an advertising agency focused in the U.S. Hispanic market that specializes in customized media solutions for businesses.
It sure does, desde estrategias de redes sociales hasta publicidad en medios tradicionales. Ofrecen soluciones personalizadas y creativas adaptadas para alcanzar sus objetivos de marketing, all tailored to diverse and rapidly growing segments of the Hispanic population across 42 Hispanic markets in the U.S. and Latin America, huh?
Wow, you get all the great lines. But they use their cultural expertise to create strategies to deliver efficient results. Hispanic Group!
Lleva tu marca al corazón de la comunidad hispana. Take your brand to the heart of the Hispanic community. Hispanic Group.
Their expertise lies in reaching the Hispanic market, leveraging its rich multiculturalism. Hispanic Group combines innovation, cultural insight, and strategic collaboration to drive what? Tangible results for their clients.
I agree with everything you just said.
Now, for more information, you can visit their website. Guess where? HispanicGroup.net.
Okay.
That's HispanicGroup.net, or
I'll say it in Spanish. HispanicGroup.net.
Danny talked about something about resilience, and I want to ask you both and have you both have an opportunity to kind of answer this and talk about this. And we mentioned this earlier when we were inside earlier getting ready to come out and film. Social media is what I like to call the greatest hits. You know, it's not all the stuff that didn't make the radio, it's the greatest hits. I mean, Sadiel in just a matter of weeks is going to be a married man, and we're excited about that, right? Myrka, you're around this community, celebrity events, different things that you're doing with your own family, but it's not all, and I say this because I remember what you shared when we were in Orlando at the Momentum Conference, and you identified with your own personal struggles and challenges. How can you, in your own personal life, your own challenges, identify somewhat with who we're helping here in these families in the countries?
Well, I can tell you that when I was a little girl, I'm the daughter of immigrants, right? My parents came from Cuba. My mom was a teacher. And I was that little girl that went to an event, a community event, where they were actually giving out Christmas gifts for the community because my mom couldn't afford it on one salary as a teacher. So I received that gift and that little doll, and that meant the world to me. So the fact that today I can partner with a group of people that are doing that for someone else, and that I'm able to also participate, is kind of a full circle moment. And we do see the grace of God and everything that He wants to do for every single person, and that God doesn't forget anyone, even at a moment when you're in difficulty, you're going through a hard time. And I think that that's what we try to tell people through the radio too. God is still there, and He's close to the brokenhearted. He's close to people that are struggling, and He brings us through because He walks with us through that valley of the shadow of death even. So I'm never going to forget those times, and I'm just happy to be here. I consider it a privilege.
And I feel the same way. When I was a kid, I used to use the same shoes for the entire year. I have to clean it for the next year using it. And I remember with somebody do an event similar to this and give a shoes to the kids in my town and give us a book bags. And that's like Myrka say, it was the word to me. Like I was feel like super happy at that moment. And you see all these people working together to make another kid happy with everything that we are giving away today. That's amazing. It's amazing.
And I love that they're bringing their kids too.
Yes,
Yes.
I even see a dog here too.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody that wants to volunteer.
Yes.
Even dogs. We'll take them in.
Danny's 7-year-old daughter is here. I mean,
daughter's
literally
here.
packing school supplies. This is great. We're so excited. Thank you for being here. But you know, I really love the fact that all the tables are empty. Because it would seem like, I used to come from the restaurant business, and it's like an empty restaurant is like a sign of like nobody's there. But in this case, that means we completed our mission.
Yes.
And our Beyond the Plate podcast, we always try to complete our mission, end our episode on a positive note. That was great.
It's the echo in here.
I think so.
We should do it from out here.
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna. Yeah, because I my voice sounded
liked
a lot
it,
better
right?
on that
Right.
one.
It's good.
Yes. Well, we always end on a positive note. And Myrka, we couldn't find anyone better than you to end on a positive note for this episode, because one of the things that when we talked to Sadiel on their first episode of our Hispanic Heritage Month in our podcast, he says you're always coming with these amazing, godly encouragement, the word that is encouraging, that is right at the right moment. God just give you something. So would you give our audience something
Yeah, for
right
sure.
now for our positive note?
It's the versículo del día is what I do, and devocional each morning. It just becomes something that people are accustomed to, and it also speaks to me. So I typically choose verses depending on what I'm going through at that moment. And God is so miraculous that then he reaches other people with that same message. And I just think that that's what's so beautiful and alive about the Word of God, right? So I just want to share with all of you, and you've probably heard it, but this is my life verse, which is Jeremiah 29:11, which is that God says that he knows the plans that he has for you, plans to give you a hope and a future, plans to not harm you, but give you good things. And, I just have a dear friend right now whose daughter was diagnosed, and I say diagnosed because we're not accepting what the doctors say, but diagnosed with terminal 4 brain cancer. And they've said that there is no way that she's going to survive. But we are holding on to the Word of God that says, I know the plans that I have for you. So even people that are listening right now, maybe you've received a diagnosis. Maybe you have someone that's left your home. Maybe you have a wayward child. There's so many things that happen in this broken world that we live in, but God has a promise. And when we hold on to that promise, it is the only way to move forward and to actually have joy in the midst of a difficulty. So I just want to give you that verse, Jeremiah 29:11, my life verse.
That's a positive note.
That's a positive note.
That is a positive.
Myrka Dellanos, Sadiel Castro, thank you both
My
for
pleasure.
being on Beyond the Plate.
Thank you
just
so
sharing
much.
your heart today with
Thank
our
you
audience.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Beyond the Plate. We love having you here.
Keep up with us on Instagram and TikTok at beyondtheplate.podcast.
And if you enjoy the show, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give our videos a like. Just search Food for the Poor Beyond the Plate.
Your support means the world to us.
All right, folks, we'll see you on the next Beyond the Plate episode.
I'm waving.